Herbie, would you lead the prayer, please?
Let's pray. Dear Lord, most gracious Heavenly Father, we just want to thank you for this day, this beautiful day that we have in Water Valley and the days hopefully to come. Lord, just be with the ones with the hurricane victims. Lord, we just all need to pray hard for their safe returns and everything that's going on with them. Lord, just be with the ones that's on our prayer list that's in Water Valley in Yellowbush County. You know who they are more than we do. Just wrap your arms around them and be at your will. Lord, as we go into our business tonight, we want to conduct this business to the pleasure of you, Lord, and do it for the best of our abilities. And we ask this in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. Say the pledge of allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Reminds me of school.
All right.
First, the teacher. Good memories. Every day, man, every day.
First item, we will, do I have a motion that the agenda be adopted? Is there a motion?
I have one addition to the agenda, please.
Okay.
The Ridgewoods pet boarding. We discussed it last meeting and we tabled it.
We did. Have we?
We were just doing research.
Okay. All right. If we're ready to go with that. All right. Is there a motion to adopt? You make an amendment to add an item 24. Is there a motion to adopt the agenda as amended? All right. Is there a second? All right. Motion second. Daniel, record that. That's adopted. Next, we go to the minutes. Is there a motion to adopt the minutes? There's a motion. Is there a second? Second. And motion. Daniel, record those. All in favor say aye. All opposed? All right, that is adopted. Next, approve monthly bills. Now, they've been furnished to everyone. Is there a motion that they be adopted? The monthly payment of the monthly bills. There is a motion. Is there a second? There's a second. Any discussion? All in favor will say aye. All opposed? That is adopted. Next, we will go to the Main Street report. Main Street.
Hi, good evening. Hey, I'm Hallie Thomas. I'm a local realtor, and I am standing before you tonight on behalf of the Water Valley Main Street Association. As some of you may know, our former director, Alyssa Benedict, accepted a position in Oxford, and Caitlin Magnuson is currently serving as our interim director. She couldn't be here tonight, so I'm standing in for her. We formed a hiring committee, and we publicly advertised the job opening. We had a great response, and we're currently conducting interviews. We hope to have someone hired by the end of the year, maybe sooner than that. Also, just so you'll know, the board is staying on top of our compliance and training requirements in order to remain in good standing with Mississippi Main Street. We also are going to have 4 new board members rolling on this fall at our October meeting. And I'd like to officially invite you all to attend our annual meeting, which is Monday, October 21st at 6:30 p.m. at Hummingbird Bakery. We hope that city officials, partners, friends, and volunteers will join us to network, enjoy a snack, and hear about our past accomplishments and upcoming plans in more detail than what I'm going to give you this evening. Next, I'd like to bring several upcoming event dates to your attention. The art crawl is October 19th, and I noticed number 17 on the agenda. I think someone wanted to just make sure everyone knew that the art crawl is October 19th.
We'll consolidate this
So you
with
can
that.
consolidate, yep. And then the New Year's Eve crappie drop will be obviously on New Year's Eve on December 31st. We'll come back to you closer to time to talk about potentially closing the street off like we did last year. And then the Water Valley Wine Down is February 28th, and the second annual Casey Jones Blues Fest will be March 22nd. All these dates can be found on the calendar on our website, mainstreetwatervalley.org. And then lastly, I have a pocket park update for y'all. The board did unanimously approve the purchase of the pocket park land at the corner of Wagner and Main, and we're working with Daniel Martin to close on the property. And I'm also excited to announce that one of the last things Alyssa did before she left her position was to apply for a grant through the Fred Carl Jr. Small Town Center at Mississippi State University. and 27 applicants were received, and funds were awarded to 11 communities to support projects ranging from master plans to pocket parks to street art to retail hubs. And Water Valley was one of the 11 communities to receive funding, so that's very exciting. And I don't have any details on the amount yet or the timeline, but that grant was specifically written for pocket park improvements. So that'll be great to see what happens there. Do y'all have any questions or concerns with anything I
And
brought up?
I believe you got $44,000 of the purchase price of the pocket park already.
Yes,
And
yes.
it'll be 60,000, so,
Right,
and then the other improvements will be following in train.
that's right.
Ally, I can cover that too.
Yes.
On the pocket park.
What about it?
You want me to cover it?
Sure, sure. Yeah, so if y'all don't have any questions for me, I'm gonna pass it over to Charlie Dyer, who's gonna give you an update on the streetscape project. Unless you need something else from me.
I'm gonna make this quick, guys. So Charlie Dyer, we have I'm actually gonna be taking over. Hallie's actually our president of the board, so she just said she's with us, but she's with the board. We have 4 members here, all from the board. We're kind of filling in basically as the interim director from the whole board. But right now we weren't starting on the pocket park with without the funds. Hallie and a team of people, including Lee and a lot of others, went out there and got the funds and obtained them. So we got a unanimous vote to go ahead and purchase pocket park. Along with that, we've got, I think, over $27,000 already actually in the bank account, sitting there. We've deposited. We're around $44,000 or $45,000 committed, maybe actually a little bit over that today. So we're on our way. That's why the unanimous vote came. It's because we feel good about having the money and to go ahead and purchase that. Along with that comes the splash pad, which is something we've been talking about. I put out a packet to everybody. Daniel, did you get that out for me?
Yes, I did.
Thank you. Real quick, I'll cover that. We've got a lot of stuff that's been done over the last 2 years. I've only been on the board for 2 years, and I'll be taking Hallie's spot as the president next year. But right now, we're kind of watching all the work that's been put in over the last 2 years kind of come to fruition. And I hate that Alyssa's not here to actually experience it, but as you know, we had a $100,000 grant from ARPA, and we had another $61,000 grant given to us on top of that for streetscape and everything in downtown Water Valley. We've had the grant that we just applied for that we're not sure how much we're getting back was $75,000.
Right.
That's what we applied for, was up to $75,000 specifically towards Pocket Park. But we don't know how many of those funds we're actually going to receive, but we'll let y'all know as soon as we receive that information. But the first things we wanted to cover was the ARPA. The only thing we're waiting on right now, I wanted everybody in your hands, because we need help with this, getting an RFP, request for proposal out for the construction. We've had it on the state website, a couple other websites, but we're trying to get somebody to come in and do all of this work. That's 4 bump outs on Main Street. That's 5 crosswalks where they will actually take over and do all new crosswalk stamped concrete, stamped asphalt. And then also a triangle in front of First Baptist Church. This was all approved a while back, but I wanted to make sure that you guys knew that we were working on that right now, and now we're at the point where in the next 90 days we have to have a contract written.
Right, that's right. ARPA funds must be committed
Yes,
now.
sir. So we have to be under contract in the next 90 days for all of these funds, not just the first round of 100,000, but 61,000. We've only spent about 20,000 right now, maybe 22, for the installation of all the signs you saw, the new stop signs, and also wayfinding signage that you haven't seen go up yet. No, Mike, we're going to be working with you on that one coming up soon too.
Now, if it's under, a project is under 75,000, you can take quotes. If it's over 75,000, you'll have to do competitive bids, which takes longer.
For the grant, it's a little bit more tightened of a restriction, so anything over $10,000 we have to show multiple quotes for.
Well, yeah.
Right, but with that, yes, so we can come in. The next quote we've got one quote in from a company out of Jackson. We've gotten a lot of rejection letters because we try to get everybody locally involved, but this is why I gave y'all our RFP. So attached on the front of the page is basically the RFP on the first round. And then good news for everybody that's looking at the Pocket Park and Splash Pad. I talked to Main Street Association today, Mississippi Main Street, and they believe that we can actually utilize some of the funds that we have for the second round, the $61,400 that we just received. They believe that we can use some of those funds specifically for Splash Pad and Pocket Park to help us with that funding. So we're going to work on that next board meeting, but that just got approved today. Yeah, we think we got that.
And you've got additional funds for the splash pad that have already been donated.
Correct. Yes.
That exceed the funds that you have for the other, or at least are almost equal to it.
Totally separate of the ARPA funds.
Totally separate.
Yes, totally separate of the ARPA funds. The ARPA funds, we've got 4 different bank accounts, all working on different projects. The only other thing that I really had on here was something that was brought up about a year ago, I think, time before you came in, but you helped approve this back in with the state.
But the what is it, the MSRG, I can't remember. But basically another grant through Mississippi Main Street for $150,000, but we had to match it. So the town was, we requested and the town approved $10,000 and
Sidewalk.
yep, the approval letter is on there for sidewalks. So that is separate of ARPA, so I don't want anybody to get confused. The ARPA funding is specifically what we're working on for the bump outs, crosswalks, triangle. This is a whole nother separate $150,000 that Main Street Association has to come up with $10,000, and then the town said they would come up with 10 grand, and they'll match us, and then they'll give us $150,000 or $130,000 on top of that. So, and that's all for sidewalks.
Pretty good deal.
It is a good deal.
Right.
So, anyways, I just want to give y'all an update, let y'all know that we're working on that, and then we'll come to you guys and figure out what we're going to do as far as streetscape. Mike, you're like, oh no. But yeah, so I'm handling that, so I'll work on that.
Well, and y'all are doing it for such great pay.
Yeah, right, yeah, it's good, it's really good. Yeah, we didn't know we all took on separate careers, but yeah.
Right.
But no, I just want to make sure.
You do get pay out of things because you get the satisfaction knowing you move the ball down the road when you have the opportunity to do it.
That's why we signed up.
So we appreciate y'all.
Right. Over the next 6 months, or really 4 months, the $10,000 we'll be looking for from the town. We'll let you know. We're waiting on Mississippi Main Street, but probably by January 15th, January 30th at the latest, we'll be looking for the $10,000 commitment.
And y'all gonna make sure you get your ARPA funds, all that.
All that funding is already here.
I mean, committee.
Yes, sir. By the next 9 days. That's all we get. Thanks, y'all.
Thank you so much. Now let's go to the Planning Commission report.
I didn't have anything.
We do not have a Planning Commission report. Next, Historic Preservation Committee. Don't have that.
No, sir, you haven't. I haven't.
We have it. Is there? Well, let's look at it. Do we need to? Well, we need to acknowledge it.
Yes, sir.
And I don't think that. Oh, Ben, is Ben here?
It's Ben? Yeah, I'm here.
There, Ben. James McCormick was covering you up there. So.
Sorry, that's what he does.
Yeah. So, anyway, well, okay.
Mayor, do you want me to say anything about historic preservation, or let the report speak for itself? Here on the back. That's why we're-
Well, why don't you come up, Robbie? Come on down.
Miss Vivian has the report that I sent over. That was from our July 29th regular quarterly meeting. That's the written report that was approved by the commission at our special meeting on September 19th. At our September 19th special meeting, we approved a certificate of appropriateness application for the BTC at 301 North Main for a sign. They're going to hang the cafe sign that was out on the bracket. They're going to move that. That's been there for 11 years. They're going to move that up and then hang an "and roastery" sign below it for the new coffee business that they have there at the BTC. And that was the only COA application approved. We do have some other applications that have been deferred for further meetings for further information.
All right, now I guess we can approve this report if there's a motion and second. Motion, second. All in favor say aye. Aye. All that. Thank you all so much.
Thank you.
All right, we got that. Now, let's move on. All right, got historic preservation, Elizabeth Smith. All right, Odie Sheffield, Odie here. All right, then we'll go to Ben. Ben.
Yes, sir.
Rails to Trails, and you're gonna tell us some good news, Ben.
Only good news. My name is Ben Apshin. For those of you who don't know me, I've lived in Water Valley for a couple of years with my wife, Rebecca. I'm excited to tell you guys about the Yalobusha Greenways Alliance, formerly known as Water Valley Rails to Trails. I'll tell you a little bit about what we've done the last couple of months, and then also where we're going, and then what we're going to ask you for support and permission to do. So we started meeting in the spring. We started having open meetings at the Hendricks Building. We were having about 50 people come. And what they were coming to say is that they were supporting the idea of a rail to trail in town. And the idea of what that rail to trail meant, it could mean a lot of things. So people were talking about, a trail all the way to Oxford, a trail down to Grenada. What we've really done is spend some time honing in on what our vision is, figuring that out, and then formulating a 501c3 from there. And now we've gotten to the point where we've used that mission to raise $10,000 in funding from the National Rails to Trails Commission, which is actually the first National Rails to Trails grant that's been given to anybody in the state of Mississippi. So, take that.
We've got, and that
Just
is,
kidding.
that is leading, but we've got some other firsts in the state
Yeah,
grants,
some-
but this is the first one out of the hatch, and the first one, and the others are being tried.
Yeah, so what we've had to do is really think about what do we want to do now, what do we want to do next, and what do we want to do later. So a lot of these big ideas about trails to Oxford, trails to Grenada, trails to the moon, these get put into the do later bucket. So what we want to do now, which is really exciting, is open up the 1 mile of trail that we actually all walked on our National Trails Day event. So that's from North Court Street going north. It's all pretty much ready to go. We've kind of outlined in here all the steps that we need to take. There are asks of the city in terms of mowing and maybe some support in terms of labor and installation. But ultimately, like, we feel good about all the fundraising we can do. We feel good about ordering whatever we need to order. What we really need from the Board of Aldermen is support and permission, and then just helping us think of, like, what are the things that we don't know? Like, we don't know what we don't know in order to get this thing open. So our goal is to actually permanently open that section of the trail, if we can, by early 2025. So this kind of lays out who we are. I know you don't have enough paper in front of you already, so this is for you guys to keep. And if you want to look at sort of what our plan is, who we are, and then there's a map of the trail we want to open on the back. And then the other thing we ask for is just like engagement. So if you're interested in coming to any of our meetings, we have one on Thursday at Hendricks. We also have a very active Instagram page and Facebook page, and we'd love to keep you guys in the loop of all of our activities. So thank you.
Ben, I tell you, good thing to do, work with the street folks and,
Yeah.
and see them, and I think they'll try to help.
Yeah, I think a big part of our
work do that.
It's cool. And like running parallel to opening that trail, the other piece of Do Now is figuring out where the big pieces of funding will have to come from to expand that trail. Because we do have a vision beyond just that first mile. So we have a lot of thoughts about transportation and safety avenues for getting that funding, whether it's like environmental access or biking to get that funding. So we have some other pathways going, but ultimately we want to bite off like a piece that we can see done as a proof of concept, people using the trail, enjoying the outdoors, and seeing what we can do. Exercise, nature.
Well, okay.
Is that-
We appreciate you. Anybody questions? Well,
Yeah, thanks, Al.
Stay in touch with me if I get to
all right, mighty good. Thank you so much. And Ben, again, is doing it because he is public spirited. All right, now we got Marco.
Yes.
Gooch. Yeah, Marco, come to us. Before us. With us.
My name is Marco Gooch. I live on Martin Street, and I wanted to bring attention to the board about the situation on Martin Street with the drainage. As far as they're all clogged up. If you want to look at the
Now,
photos.
you came to the meeting where you had on the flood, didn't you?
I wasn't able to make it.
Okay, well, we had a real good meeting, and we need to make sure that your concerns they were brought out, and Martin Street is included, and these particular areas were included in that drainage request.
Okay.
And so but we make sure that you get with the engineer it's not too late.
Okay.
And I can I want you to do that, and let me give you, tell him I said so. Yeah. Make sure, tell him I said that, make sure he turns it in to the main engineers, they're subcontractors, make sure they turn it in. But now this was specifically, I believe, but go ahead, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
Yes, and also, I got with residents on Martin Street and Daniels Drive about the improvements that need to be made, and we wanted to find out if it was possible for us to apply for a Safe Street for All grant that they're giving. It's only 2 years left in the program, and it provides for improvements to streets. You can add sidewalks and also improve the drainage and stuff like that. And we wanted to see if we would be able to apply for
Yeah, I tell
Safe
you
Streets
what,
for All.
why don't you pollinate with the Main Street folks and y'all and others in the Planning Development District and others, but work with them, and let's not leave any dollars on the table.
Yes.
If they're there, they go to waste somewhere else.
And I
Let's
also
get
wanted-
the money.
Wanted to present the petition from the residents of Martin Street and Daniels Drive about the problems we have on
Good, well,
on Martin Street.
and we won't make sure that, let's get those to our engineer, you know, the one we're dealing with on the flood project, make sure that they have, we need to, had a good meeting the other night, and, but we can still submit stuff. We'll submit a copy of that if that's all right with you to them.
Martha, do you
Yes.
have extra copies of that, or you just have the one set of pictures?
We gonna, look, we got $4.5 million that, unless it's pulled, that we might have access to do some things, and if we
This
can get a little bit more, that'd be all
grant
right.
money that's for Safe Streets for All.
Yeah, well,
And the requirements, it's not for maintenance or anything. You have to be making improvements for safety. If you're not,
all right, and, this, yeah, we don't wanna leave, and I want you to specifically, work with the Main Street and, work with the people that, you know, our flood control project. You know, this should be a complement. Everything ought to work together.
yes.
So that's good, but we will deliver that petition and the request to our flood folks. But I wish he could see a copy of that, engineer, you know, where that was Martin Street.
It's all over Martin Street.
It's all over there.
That's in my ward. It's part of what we
I
already
know,
went
but
over.
we went over the, see,
That's
we
supposed to
rode
be already
within
wood.
the first week after, well, matter of fact, the week after, we rode over the street with an
Right,
engineer,
Martin
Everett Alderman. And, that was prominently, and should be, so, but we've got, every ward, every bit of the town has, flood needs, so this really needs to be addressed and was in that thing. So that's a good deal.
I'll make a copy of this.
Yeah,
He needs.
he needs a copy of that, but we need to get it to the engineer.
I'll
Sounds good.
And we had, remember, Tony, we wrote down, and we had 12, Marcus, we had 12 in my ward, Ward 2, we had 12 drainage, issues. And we got them all.
We've got 107 houses and business so far that is included in what would be improved. I mean, in the drainage parts, 107. Now, that doesn't mean it doesn't need to be 108 or 10 or 20, but we got that. So, but I want you to, I really think that I would like for you to look at that map that the engineer had. He brought, did he leave? I know it. Danny, you were here.
And when?
No, you weren't. They said, well, I was here on the flood meeting, and you were here, and Bonnie was there. We need to get those maps. Let's make sure that we do. And we'll put them up.
And also on the petition, it's about the kudzu that's overtaking Martin Street. And property owners on the right-hand side of Martin Street, we're being overtaken by the kudzu that's coming from the city dump and a property on Wood Street, and we cannot control it. The pictures, it's all out.
The kudzu's coming from a property on Wood Street.
Yes.
Well, we can look at that
In
property
between,
and
it's an
everything.
abandoned street, Bridge Street.
Bridge, yeah.
It's all coming from there. It's an abandoned trailer back there.
Well, we
From
need-
Stevens Street all the way back down, and it's coming to all the way down to our property.
We need to look at property that's impinging on other property and not being kept up.
That's
And
another
we may
drainage
start
issue
that.
too,
It
that,
may be drainage issue
Rodney
too.
Henderson.
Yeah, well, let's see if that's already been turned in. That's why I wish we had that map here tonight, but they came and they presented it, so, I
And
wish you had been there.
Also, when they come out and cut the grass on Martin Street, nobody picks up the trash. We pick up the trash, but when people come to bring the kids to school, throw the stuff out the window. And it's all up and down Martin Street. The grass hasn't been cut on one side. It's about 4 feet tall. On one side where they're building a new church, the drainage ditch is
Yeah, that stays for the
full,
summer.
and the tree that's falling.
All that's fixed to be tore out and concrete ditch put in there, where you talking about by the church. We hadn't got that last stage done there by the church.
So that's going to be a concrete ditch there.
We're taking that all out and redoing ditches there.
All right, well, we will,
So who do I get with about the Safe Streets for All grant?
well, let's not just get with one, let's get with several. We need to work together in this town.
Okay.
Why don't you talk with Main Street, and the Planning Development District is available, but I would talk with Main Street. I would talk with, let's get some thoughts. If it can be utilized, let's get it. Okay, that would be a good place to start. And get the Planning Development District and some other areas too. So,
And I wanted to see if the board would be able to walk from Main Street up Martin Street to Stevens Street, just to see how dangerous it is. I know everybody.
We go from Stevens down to
That's fine. We want to either way, it doesn't matter. But just to see, because everybody says they drive through Martin Street, they see what's going on, but you never tried to walk Martin Street. You never tried to walk it.
well, we need, every bit of this town needs to be in tip-top shape. Rome wasn't built in a day, but we need to be working on Rome. So, I think that's a good thing, and,
Well, I've been fighting for this since 2017, 2019.
well, let's do it.
Great, appreciate it. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr.
Get together and let's get something done. All right, next, James McCormick and Jamie Scott.
Excuse me if I don't get up, is that all right?
You're good.
I appreciate that very
Well,
much, guys. We're working on stage 3 of our Cosmic Spacewalk, and you said you'd gone through that before. I'm really happy to hear that. You said you've about the spacewalk, seen it too. Anyway, the first part was the spaceship mural. Second part was the, I'm sorry, I have a little trouble this morning. Was to have the signs with the
planets.
yeah, the planets, thank you very much. And also a curriculum that we have designed, online curriculum that kids at the elementary school use. We plan on
Good deal.
Friday, Lynn and I are going to go down and do a staff development for the teachers there on the spacewalk. And so the first part was the rocket ship, the second part was the science, and the third part was closing it off, looking at it with.
We're going to do a human sundial in the parking lot of Davidson Elementary. Out
You
in
ever
the
seen
middle
human
there.
sundial? You know how it works?
As long as you're properly clothed and everything.
Oh, yeah. We'll lay it out there. Basically, it's a thing, depending on the month of the year, you stand in a particular square, and you hold up your hand, and that becomes the gnomon. It casts a shadow and tells you the time.
It's a great way to teach kids about the sun and during, like, we're not
We have
close-
approval for that already from the school district, the
Yeah.
principal, the superintendent. Also there's a couple of strange walls in the middle of their parking lot, which I think originally were for dumpsters, and now they have
grease
a grease trap in there. But they're
It's
just these
really
big,
horrible.
pointless walls. We're gonna put some, we wanna put
Lee
some
said you can
murals
tear
in.
those things down if you want to. Let's do something to them, please.
Yeah,
You wanna
so
talk to
we're gonna
them?
put a mural on one side facing the,
Lee Gray.
facing the sundial. On the other side, we're gonna do some more stuff there, but at least there won't be just big ugly walls there.
But what we have between the inner and outer planets is a lot of space. It's a great way to teach kids about the vastness of space, but it's not really something to keep people interested walking up that long. Better walk from down up top to the bottom. We went up to the, the bridge you have, crossing
It's a
that.
bridge about halfway through the whole thing. It goes over the Town Creek, it's right by where the rail trail will be and all that, so.
It's got two walls about 2 feet high, concrete barriers, and we want to put 2 comments on. So we want to add to our murals, because it's your own property, and we want to come up to you guys first.
Signs with comments, so each one will have, don't stop now, pointing this way, you're only 17 billion miles away from Neptune.
Right.
And another thing, pointing that way, you're only, 27 billion miles from Earth.
You're almost home.
Yeah, that kind of thing. But we just want to add those comment signs there, and that's what we need.
But if we had it to scale, a grain of the earth, if this was solar system, a grain of sand,
Right.
would be about us in this room.
No, yeah, no question. It's the scale that 1 foot equals 1.8 million miles.
Yeah.
So you do like 1 foot on the trail, on this, and it wouldn't have to be.
So we want to decorate the bridge. Well, we want to decorate the bridge with these 2 signs. They'll be like the planet signs that are there, but just they'll be by the bridge.
Yeah, the mural, I have a picture of what we're thinking.
And that's all we need, is your approval to add signs to the bridge.
Motion.
It'll be about,
Is there a motion? Is there a second?
Here's what we're going to do
Discussion?
on the wall.
All in favor? All opposed? It passes.
thank you, thank you. Now we got to do it, Jamie.
I know. Doggone
The
it.
torch has been-
Last year you did the same thing to us. We came and asked permission twice. You said, yeah, oh, shoot.
The torch has been passed.
Yes.
Well, one good thing is, this isn't going to cost the city anything. We fund these projects ourselves. So,
And thank you very much for that.
thank you.
All
Greatly
right.
appreciated.
Now, thank y'all, and appreciate the good volunteer. The thing that this community is good at is good people volunteer. And if
Amen.
we didn't have the help, we can't afford to pay for everything, but we can afford to have volunteer labor, and we've got it in this town. A lot of people are helping other folks. All right, item number 13. Let's go with that. Michael Scroggins, garbage truck and scales at plant.
Michael Scroggins with garbage truck.
And also, let me say this now, the city auditorium we've got down, the street department we got a list of the, what we could be doing so that, and we got a commitment from the architect that they would have us a bid so that we could let bids for the remainder. The street department has gone and done exactly what they said we could do, which is taking out all the chairs, which is pulling out, the bathrooms have to be redone, get that, and the walls, worked on the wall, tearing out, and all the water damage stuff.
I did the carpet.
They got rid of that old carpet. So now, God willing, Monday, they will have a report. I don't want to take their report, but I just want to tell you that we'll have a report on the other. But the street department, or whatever department you want to call it, you call it street, has been very busy on the civic center, and so we've just sort of taken things. Just try to make it happen because it's been closed way too long.
Yeah.
And I believe we're back. We're back. Hopefully. All right, Mark.
I come tonight to see if we can advertise or see if I get approval to advertise for a garbage truck. I have one to be paid off this next month. It's a 2019 model. Still running a 13 and an 06. So we're down to the point where we need to start preparing for a new truck. Or,
Well, what do you want, and how do you want the advertisement to be? A new or?
I want to advertise for a new one, just like we always have in the past.
Okay, you don't want the used up. Okay, all right. So, all right, and the specifications would be on file with the city clerk.
I want to have those before I even advertise.
Oh, have to.
You have some in the morning.
All right, and All right, is there discussion, now this would be a new garbage truck, and you would need to, finance it? All right, and there would be financing, with this, and there would have to be, what we would do is, do this, and then if you accepted a bid, if you did this and then accept the bid, then we'd have the, financing, part of it. All right, is there a motion that a new garbage truck purchase be approved? And advertising for it, no, this is not advertising.
That's right.
All right, there's a motion, Alderman Rogers made, there's a second. Is there discussion? All in favor will say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? All right, that motion passes.
All right, we have another item that I want to bring to the city for the board, that the set of scales where we have at the chicken plant, the processing plant up there. I've been approached with the county, and they're in the process of trying to reorganize their landfill, and they're looking for a set of scales. And they're in the process of asking to purchase it from the city.
I think what we can do is have, since it's two public entities, we can have a negotiated price, and the work will need to be according to that statute. And that gives a good deal of leeway.
Well, I met with the scale people that put the scale in up there. They came up, looked at it and everything.
Did Mr. Washington talk to you about it?
Casey Washington, yeah.
Casey.
Him and I have been talking back and forth. But anyway.
Case has been very helpful. They've been very helpful to us.
The scale man came up and he looked at it, and he asked was we gonna need to put it in operation. For us to put it in operation would cost around $6,700. Well, we don't even use a scale up there enough there to put that much money into it. So
and Mike, they're going to let the city use the scales when they need them, is that correct?
Yes, it would still be where we can use the scale. We're working together right now and trying, the scale people are coming up, or they came up, he's working on a proposal of what the scale is worth, plus what it would cost to move it from the chicken plant down to the landfill.
So
the county just want to know if they could be negotiable there. There is another one in line, but they're not trying to get it.
A motion to
Authorize negotiation.
authorize negotiation for the transfer, well, in accordance with the statute, for the transfer or sale of the scales according to Mississippi statute with Yalobusha County.
So moved.
Motion second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed. And might I say, they're doing right now, they're helping us on gravel, we know.
Yes, we've got that in.
We got the pads done, doing the pads done for the two transformers that are coming so that we won't have a catastrophic power outage. Not that we're not gonna have power outage, but this is a 3 or 4 day one, say a hurricane. I mean, we don't know about that, but at any rate, say things happen, which they can, and they're helping us there and quite a lot in other places too.
We got the pad built. We're in the process of
For the hospital.
For that first site. We're in the process of getting the hole dug and the concrete poured for the transformer. And then after that, we'll get the gravel stuff in and start going from there.
And it could be from 1 month to 3 or 4 months before the people that are building the transformer, in Laurel, transformers, before they get them to us. It's been a long time that we've been ordered. So, but at any rate, that should be, these are working. And we've got one more easement to get that hopefully we can get on the Solero.
We're inching closer.
We just about there on that easement, so.
So I think we're about a third on this first project worked up. Once we get this slab forward, then we get some more material stuff that we're waiting on to get here, then that needs their vehicle. The only problem I do need to ask is, we need to sod that down there. Now, is the city, are we gonna be the one to do the sod stuff there, or? Because we don't, because that pad is so high that we're gonna lose the sides if we don't.
Well, we're gonna have to do some type of erosion control.
Right.
What was in the
Well,
water
that's right.
prevention plan?
Okay.
We, there's a, what was it, the yes, the WPPP plan or something.
You don't have it straight up, you gotta hit it.
Well, the engineering specs had where they wanted to make sure that we had the erosion control from the water. Let's look at the plans together and get
I'll
that
get with
out,
what they're,
and we'll be
we,
able
we
to.
just need to get something on for the winter time, what they're, we got it all up to where we need to go. We just need to get the rest of repaired that part.
Ryegrass and all that. I mean, you know, you gotta do something for the spring.
So Martin,
Working on the sod system, sod people trying to get some sod to see what it's gonna cost to put the sod. But anyway, it's progress.
Yes, we will have to do it.
Whoever, the people that brought kudzu to America, Johnson Grass didn't help us either way.
no.
Well, thank you for that. And so, next, Willis Engineering Service Contract for the industrial park. We've got a $1.8 million improvement project in our industrial park. We must, by law, have engineering services retained. Willis is the engineer, has been and is the engineer for the city. They have submitted a proposal that they be retained for this industrial park work. And it is necessary to have, it, and they have participated in the work and design of it. So, but it's your pleasure, but we do have a contract in the standard form to retain them for engineering services for that. By law, by state law, a contract of this size, it is required that an engineering firm be retained. Is there a motion that the contract be approved with Willis? Is there a second? Motion second. Is there discussion? All in favor will say aye.
Aye.
All right, next we have a couple of ladies that are here, and one that Jeanette Whitehead could not be here, but she's been working real hard on this. Jesse, you want to come up? Jesse Gerner, and who else you bring with you? She brought somebody with you.
She's our chairperson.
Well, you can come on up. You can come on up too.
I think this is known as being thrown under the bus. That's about right.
Come on up too.
We actually were appointed by Mayor Gray, so this has been going on for a while. It's Jeanette, Liz, and myself. We finally have some drawings. When we got these, we went back up to the auditorium, and unless your eyesight is a lot better than mine, you're going to need a magnifying glass when you're looking at these. Everything that is in here that is structural, we agreed with, but once Mike and his crews had gotten in there and gotten everything out, and we really could see the bones of it and what we were dealing with, we decided we wanted to make some more changes, but there were changes that are going to save money. That we thought the ceiling was in bad condition in the auditorium part. It's not. It doesn't need to be repainted, painted, or replaced or anything. It's good. That the walls, we had thought the wainscoting needed to be replaced. It doesn't. That there is good, strong, I still call it sheetrock. I think it's called something else now, behind it. So we're just going to that's going to be taken down. Mike's crews are doing that.
All right.
Look at you.
My list is checked off.
You've got, but you've made those changes, but you've got y'all have a common plan that would make it serviceable.
Yes, everything else other than those cosmetic changes, I think they're cosmetic. Apparently the architect thought they were a little more, than he was going to have to do some additional plans to reflect what we wanted. Yeah. That it's going to be very nice. That everything in it is going to be something that we can be proud of. we found a way to save a little money and still make us proud of it, so we were happy about that.
And let me tell you why that's important. Now, we got, one year I got 200 and, I think, 50, and then the next year maybe 225, but and then part of that had to go, the roof was leaking, so part of it had to go to that. So we've got what the leftover is from those legislative appropriations. And so, but when they made those changes, that helps to keep it in the money, so that, you know, you can't do it if we don't have the money. So hopefully.
When the seats were taken out, they were taken apart, and we found out that they're structurally they're fine. You know, the bases are good, but the fabric part, the cushioning part, they're in much worse shape than we thought. You couldn't really tell it when they were put together, but they've been there for 35 years, 40 years.
Well, it hadn't been much done in.
And so we're either going to try to recover those, or again, our buddy Mike has been in touch. Hopefully there's the possibility that, fingers crossed, that we might get some seats donated. And if that again would be a significant savings, otherwise we're going to buy fabric and recover them.
Mo's gone.
The building, the bare bones of the building is good. The stage is in good condition, although we're going to get some help with that. There's no leaking. The bathrooms had to be gutted. There was significant damage in both of those. But it is on its way to being a usable facility again. And we've got a good plan to go with to get it there.
Well, that's something the entire community uses that place. So, you know, I think y'all are to be commended for your work, and everybody worked together on this deal.
I'm not sure the architect would agree after.
No, but well, I told him twice a week for 6 months. You know that, and I
there was a few places behind that paneling that's going to have to be repaired.
But when we talked to him, when Tommy got him on the phone for all of us, which he really enjoyed, where the windows, we knew that place was there, and I also told him that there was probably going to be some other damage because we just couldn't see it. But it's still less expensive than putting new wainscoting in there.
Oh, yeah.
And we were worried about the damage on the inside. The architect said, well, there's water damage. Well, yes, there was water damage and all that, but Mike got up and the street department got up, and for 5 days they put water on before it started raining, and then we got the 3.5 inches, and so it wasn't, you know. And then Marchbanks came down on they sent one person, then the next person. They've got a warranty on this for 20 years on the material, so and they certified that it was not leaking, and no leak was observed. So that is, you know, that was good, and so that was checked out too.
So we have one bend up there that's got to be fixed on the side.
That's right, but that
wasn't.
Yeah, that's right, and that was a good thing to do that, and so.
The windows are going to have to be replaced, and one of the things we looked at is.
And that's all in. Yeah.
And that is in here, if you've got a good pair of glasses. That raising them up where they do not go down to the floor, they're up higher, so there's not the danger of them being damaged when there's mowing. I mean, that just happens, but that takes care of that problem, where they're not going to be broken the way some of these were over time.
The only thing
That's
we
what
need
I
to
had
find
to
is
do on the
painters.
computer screen to look at it.
So a couple of people looking at the seats, they're working up a price of what it would take to paint it.
Yeah, well, you know, that's right. And anywhere we can save money and still do as much as we can, you know, but having the city folks do as much as the architect would let us makes it more likely that our money will go. Well, it makes it that it'll go further. Now we just gotta, again, try to make it go as far as we can.
Yeah, we're trying to walk that fine line between being fiscally responsible for the city and still having an extremely nice facility that everyone in town can use. And I think we have hit that nice middle point where it's going to be a building that everyone can be proud of, but we have been economical with money too.
Now, I'll have to say this, when this is finished, and I hope it'll be nice, but folks here and after will have to maintain it. Now, if it's just let not to be maintained, it'll become unusable again, so we don't, that's for the future though. So, thank y'all.
you.
Thank y'all so much. All right, now, Christmas parade. Well, we want one. Anybody against it? Anybody here for the Christmas parade? Well, I think we need to approve having the Christmas parade in any event. Motion and second. All in favor will say aye. Aye. It looks like it's December 13th and 6th.
She did not give me a rain date or anything.
Well, she's
banging on it being good.
well, if it's not, she can do it the next weekend. All right, art crawl. Anybody,
That was just a phone call from Miss Betsy first, and then tell, because she's afraid nobody would be here to tell her on the names.
all right, well, we want to support that. So, all right, Jason. Now, we've got a request of the Baptist Church to, on October 31st, 2021, from the, well, we did, didn't we? The church.
This is us.
Well, where's the Baptist Church?
I think I forgot to put them on the we have.
We go, yeah, they wanted, well, let's, since you're gonna be involved, if we don't, there's no objection, they wanted to, do a, between, they wanna block the street off behind the church between there and, the Nally's, and also across from the, CAC Center there, just a couple hours so they could have a trunk or treat, and I believe that's gonna be on a Sunday afternoon. And anybody got any motion second to allow that? Got it. All work with the chief of police.
I'll get everything.
Okay. All right. And they said they'd put the cones up and all that, but working with the guidance of the chief of police. All right. Yeah, she called. All right. All in favor? All opposed? All right, that's done. And now, Jason, what you got? Trunk or treat? What about that?
Last, I believe it's 3 years, the city's given us a couple $100 to buy candy for trunk or treat. It goes well. The park's having, I believe it's their 3rd annual trunk or treat on Halloween. The police department's already been obligated to, I think, 3 other trunk or treats. So any little bit of help of candy we can get is going to be real beneficial. And we got a football game that night, so it's going to be a fun night that night. So Halloween night in town.
Well, I'll tell you what you can do. You can advertise the resources of your city. You can do that. That's not a donation. You can advertise the resources of your city.
It's education with the kids and all
that. And educational. You can do that without.
Yeah, I've looked at this before.
I have too. 30 times. Is there a motion that we advertise the resources of our city and have appropriate Water Valley things to bring Water Valley and its youth, who are its future,
you always get
notoriety and good,
or just candy that's
generally speaking. The
motion
city
second.
Puts 200.
All in
we
favor
spend
say
close to
aye.
1,000 in
All
candy.
opposed. Yeah, that's advertising resources. Yeah, that we can do that.
I'll donate something. I'll come see it at the top.
All right.
This is crazy.
Yeah, you can't say not donate.
Okay, somebody says, not donate, advertise it, just put it in.
You can advertise the
Very
resources.
much so.
All right. Anything else?
The only other
I'm not
thing is
sure
I do
how
want to
much
make the
that
board
costs.
aware, if they're not, all our officers will be wearing pink badges for the month of October. We're rolling them out today. They also have on the back of their vest a panel that says police, and we had them done in pink for this month too. They were all in support of it, wanted to do it. We tried to do it last year and we were a little late getting it done, so we were able to start a little earlier this year because these take about 6 to 8 weeks to come in, so.
What's it look like?
That's all I've got.
Yeah, that's fine.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Now, we've got, any electric department, anybody with electric? You got what they need us to do.
I just
This,
think they're not acting right off. but it's
Well, that's
for-
not called write-offs.
But that's, we've been it for years.
What about
I'm
the
old
payment?
school, but whatever we want to call it.
It's an
fine
accounting
is now.
principle that we have to take off the debt because it's not likely that we'll receive them, so.
Well, it would
according
be,
to law,
it
we're
would
not
be
allowed to-
placement in unlikely to be collected, you know,
Delinquent accounts, maybe.
in delinquent accounts. Let's do that, or something of that nature, because you cannot, if it's owed to the public, you can't.
Well, you're right, and so if we ever
Do away
obtain
with
an
it.
ability to collect them in the future, we will, but for
But
accounting
for now,
purposes.
for accounting, you can't count it as you can't count that you're gonna collect it.
We're not forgiving the debt, but we can't count as we're gonna collect it like you said.
That's right. So, just like
Motion.
advertising. Motion, second. All in favor, say aye. All right. Now, the Water Valley Town and Country is, Garden Club donated 10 LED lights to the city, and I wrote a letter thanking them, and just wanted to get ratification that we appreciated them and accepted them. Motion. Second. All in favor say aye. Aye. All right, now, we've got 21 special meeting.
Yeah, so that is because I've got to open up the financing
Right.
bids
So
for
we'll-
the
We'll have
the
that,
truck and-
and we're just announcing that's going to be, okay?
And with my apologies, I won't be here for that. I
Okay,
had
well,
a
we'll
pre-existing
do it.
plan.
Next, we'll have item 22, electric line construction and maintenance advertisement. We need to do that because it needs to happen. And Vivian, you have the advertisement, and she didn't, one of them, anyway.
I thought a while ago, things getting twisted up in my phone.
Of course, when you advertise, you advertise, and then that's not accepted. But this would be for electric line construction and maintenance. And the Jeff Atwell, who is our city electric engineer and does a great job.
Crystal said this was just in case they wanted it in place, in case they ever needed it for this project.
They might, yes, I think it's a good thing to have that in place. So it's not binding you to do anything, but it allows you, it gives you some leeway to do it if you choose. Is there a motion?
Motion.
Is there a second? All in favor say aye. Aye. That's done. All right, now the Hare property, Daniel, well, I have heard, let's be quite frank, there's a lot of discussion on the property that has been, yeah, okay, you want to make a closed determination on that?
It's up to you, but I would prefer it, but that's up to you.
Well, I'll listen to I'll defer to you. We could go over the other things that we need and then do that at the end. You want to do that?
That's fine.
All right, what about the water pump repairs?
Well, that's something I was gonna discuss at the back end of it.
Okay.
Outside of the closed session.
Okay. Well, y'all want to, well, I was thinking if we got everything in the open session, we could do that and then go the other at the end, but.
Up to you.
Well, what about the water pump repairs? What do you got?
Hey, I was looking over the minutes last month and in preparation of this meeting, and so I noticed that we did not reference the publication of the advertisement for bids, and because it's a repair, you know, there may be an exception, but I'm not aware of one off the top of my head.
Well, if you do take bids and then you get down in the well and it's costing you more, I believe they'll let you go on.
Well, that's-
But that's, you've already taken bids when you do that. So.
Right, so I think we need to put off that repair and advertise for bids.
If it's not an emergency, if it is an emergency, then.
They haven't done it yet.
Okay, well, we could go, is it gonna cost over 75,000?
Yes, sir.
Twice.
Yeah, it will, because he said that. Well, then we've got okay. Is there a motion that we advertise for bids for the water pump
I'll make
repair?
that motion.
Second? All right, and this will be done, well, we can't get it in too late now, so we will do it at the earliest possible convenience, which would be in, yeah, we get it, it can be opened on the 8th, on November 8th, we could open it, but we need to, but anyway, that's a Friday, so we could take them, you know, maybe take them to that date and then maybe have a special meeting on that following Monday. Well, the following Monday is Veterans Day, so that wouldn't work there. Probably the following Tuesday. All right, is there a motion that, and hopefully everything will work until then. Is there a motion that, and if we have emergency, we're gonna have to do what we have to do. All right, is there a motion that we do advertise for, okay, the motion is a second. Second's done, okay, we done, okay. Now, we got one other item, which would be the pet grooming thing, that, what's going on there?
Pet boarding, at our meeting last month, we tabled this. Mr. Joe Woods was wanting to open up a pet daycare and boarding business. And in our discussion, the only thing that was brought up was possibly the barking dogs bothering the neighbor. So I talked to Mr. Woods, he and his wife talked to their neighbors. On one side is the church, on the other side they have neighbors. But they have spoken with them and they're totally fine with it. So I was just bringing it back so that we could vote on it.
Where do they live?
On Highway 7.
I think where Sherry Johnson used to
Ah.
live.
Gotcha.
Let's see, that would be, well, that
It's
would be
310 Highway 7.
2, and let's see, that would be, well, Bill Norris would be 1. Mike King would be the other.
Mike
They're
King's
both
the neighbor.
okay?
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
So they would be boarded outside, I'm taking it?
No, there's an adjacent, on their property, they have a shop building,
Okay.
and so that's where it would be.
They were inside, it wouldn't be too-
Inside, right. And then back in the back, they have a fenced in area where they could walk the dogs. Right. So at the meeting last month, the only concern was about the barking dogs possibly bothering the neighbors, but they've spoken with them. So I was just bringing it back.
well,
I'd feel better if I heard it from the neighbors now, but if they spoke to them, I guess.
well,
I assume, I guess they're calling this going to be home business, as it were, is what I think their argument is.
Right. They already have their LLC for the business.
Is that R1?
now this would be, I guess, a request for zoning variance, or is, what did it come to
Well,
us
they
from?
went to, let's see,
Home business that could kind of.
Home business,
Okay.
and they're really okay.
In R1, that's good.
Well,
It's supposed to be in your home, it's not supposed to be, right, I mean, that'd be like a mechanic saying, I'm working at home, and he's got a mechanic shop in the backyard. That's my personal take on it. But more, that's my legal take on it. I mean, you're on a slippery slope there. But, you know, a more appropriate vein may be if all the neighbors agreed to a variance for that property.
That's also the perfect distance where you go.
Because, again, it's not inside the home, it's not baking, it's not, it's an actual outbuilding.
So what do you say we need to legally do?
Well, we're gonna have that other meeting. For the advertising. A special board meeting on the 14th, maybe we'll know more about that.
I'm with y'all. I mean, whatever y'all, that's y'all's discretion there.
I think I agree, it's what the issue is you've got a more rural part of our town, which is on the north end. They're more secluded. They've got less neighbors that are being actively, potentially involved. And so it's more likely easier for somebody in their situation to have those surrounding neighbors approach us with a letter stating that they agreed to allow the variance because of the location, the rural nature of their house. I mean, everybody knows that going up is the houses are on several acre.
Well, you're saying that they don't have any problem.
Church is okay with that.
Church is okay.
But I don't want to just say that an outbuilding is a home business. I don't think that's a good position to take.
No, okay, well, what's your advice?
That they obtain a letter from their neighbors asking that they get the variance and that they go through the zoning committee to get the variance approved, and we go off the planning commission on whether they approve or disapprove it. The zoning commission.
Plan.
Yeah, them two.
Yeah. I like that idea.
The planning commission has already, they've already approved it. Well, what, we could continue it to the next board meeting.
The special meeting or
Yeah.
the board
Special
meeting next
meeting,
month?
special. And then everything can be resolved in that period, hopefully, and everybody.
Would we need the planning commission to?
What'd they say? I couldn't remember.
Yeah, let's.
Thank you.
They
Let's
didn't
be aware.
recommend
To allow Joe Woods to move
They
forward.
did
with the
recommend it.
proposed plan.
The commission, the planning committee did recommend it.
Okay, well then they're recommending the variance, and so
Well,
we just
okay.
want assurances from their neighbors. That
Well,
they-
yeah, okay, then that's not okay, well, okay. Well, I mean, we know that people the folks at this table know their neighbors, so, all the neighbors, I know, we can, I think there's a way to do this, and then people can, we can exercise our freedom of speech to talk to them.
Again, because of the seclusion of the property, it's not in a likely, there's different qualities of that piece of property as opposed to a piece of property that's,
Well, people are not living on top of one another out there.
Yeah.
I mean, they're not.
So you want to just talk to them and then decide?
Yeah, just
on the
talk,
14th?
talk to them, and
To the
then let us
neighbors.
know. And that'll work. All right, and you got the approval, so I would think you.
it's leaning in your direction.
Right.
Yeah, I would think so. All right, so that's taken care of there. Now,
Yes, sir, October 14th.
special meeting, that would be a
We're gonna
special.
have one anyway, on something else. so.
Now, we need, you want the closed determination on, let's get our issue here to frame it exactly right.
The hair price.
Potential litigation
Yeah,
concerning
on
the hair
potential litigation concerning the Hare property. There's a motion for closed determination, and that is made at 20 till the hour. Is there a second? Second, Vivian.
Bless you.
And all in favor of the closed determination will please raise their hand. It's unanimous. All opposed, there's no opposition. That is carried. Is there a motion that the board now resolve itself into executive session for the consideration of litigation concerning that property. There is a motion, there is a second. All in favor will say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Okay, that motion is carried. And now the board is in executive session.
You may have heard of us, but you might not know Bank First is a community bank that has no-fee ATM access, interest, and perks earning checking accounts, with online and mobile banking, mortgages for every stage of life, and modern business banking for businesses, small and big. We keep it all together to put you first. Do you bank with us? You should.